I'm at 4600 Harmony Grove Road, and I'm got still the crawl space to do and a couple other minor things, but I wanted to go ahead and do a quick video to point out some deficiencies before it gets dark on me. You've got a HVAC unit over here that's got vegetation that's all around it. The unit is fairly old, but I'm going to recommend that all this vegetation be removed. It's in close contact with the heat unit over here. The roof is fairly old. I believe that the age of the home looked to be around 1986. It could be the original roof. I'm not 100% sure, but there has been some patching done at the top there. There's several areas that's been tarred, and there's a nail poking up. You may not be able to see from here, but not on this side. On the other side in the house, and I'll show that here in just a few minutes, but there is a leak. It looks like the ceiling's got some moisture in it. Out here again, the home was built in 1986, so I'm sure that it's been this way ever since the house was built. But I don't like to see any kind of siding, especially wood, in contact with the ground. At the rear of the home, the block is showing, and you have 6 to 8 inches of clearance, and it's not rotten. But in a lot of the areas around here at the front, the wood has deteriorated and rotten to the point that where any water comes on this brick, whenever it rains, it's going to go in underneath the crawl space, and that's not what you want. You want it to stay away from the house whenever you can, and you definitely don't want it to wick behind the walls. Also, age-related issues. There's several of these nails that have popped and come out on the siding. I'm going to recommend that all these nails that have come loose all around the home be nailed back in, and make sure that the siding doesn't get knocked off. Going around the garage now. As I was stating earlier, whenever you have siding that's in contact with the ground, it causes it to mold, and water can damage the wood, rotting it there at the bottom. This area right here is rotting out pretty good. The downspout, something's hit it, or it's been broken. It used to connect to the drain line that's clogged up right now, but this should be repaired. You don't want water to just pull in this location, and it may have contributed to the siding issue back here, because if the water runs in this corner, there's really nowhere for it to drain to, because the slab from the patio is going to keep it over here against the house. There's some damage to the siding back here at the downspout, and like I was speaking of earlier, this back side of the house, you do have some clearance, and it looks like some of this vegetation was recently cut, or it has done some damage to the siding. But in contrast to what we've seen so far with the damage to the bottom of the siding, if you come around to the rear, where you have plenty of clearance, it's a significant difference in what the siding looks like. When it's allowed to ventilate, it'll protect the wood, and it'll last a whole lot longer. So if possible, I'm going to recommend the areas that the siding is in contact with the ground, it should have foundation block behind it. I'm not really sure until you start taking the siding off exactly how much you have to work with, but I would recommend leaving some of this block exposed at the front and not having the siding in contact with the ground up there. This deck, it looks like some of the wood has been replaced, but this corner especially is very shaky. It's very flimsy. Much weight's put to it. I'm concerned that it may fail. Somebody might fall off if they decide to sit here on it, and it should be anchored to the wall there. This wood that it's screwed to here at the bottom, it's weathered pretty bad, and it's got some cracks in it, and it's just not as stiff and sturdy as it used to be. The GFC outlet behind that cover there, it's worn out. Whenever you push the button in, it will not reset, so I'm going to recommend that be replaced. Going into the back of the house, this area here is the concern of the leak. I took photographs with my moisture meter earlier. I won't get it out to waste time in the video, but this area right here with the peeling paint, it is saturated. It has an elevated moisture level, and it could be leaking somewhere around the flashing where the material changes. The roof on the back side of the home goes from asphalt shingles to a rubber membrane whenever it gets to the flat roof. There was areas of the garage that I didn't have access to. Overall, I'm going to recommend, if you are intending to keep using the wood burning stove, that that this wood in the garage be removed, because it's a fire hazard, and as you can see, I can't really tell what's going on with the floor or the wall in this area. And I was going to try to inspect what was going on with this ceiling here, but I really can't get access to it. It's got a refrigerator and some other items right underneath the pull down stairs, so I just couldn't get up into the attic to see if it was leaking at the roof. I am going to recommend that a roofer be contacted to fix the leak that's in the back of the house. I would also recommend the same person that comes out to do that look in the garage to find out what's going on with the ceiling in there. The toilet in here is very loose. It shakes around. It should be anchored to the ground better. You have a handle broke on this window. You can't open it in one of the front bedrooms. Well, it's actually on the kind of midway in the right side. The window in this bedroom is broken. Part of the arm is hanging out at the back. I should have took a look at it whenever we was out there. There's a junction box in here that's missing a lid. You just need to have that covered. Any kind of exposed wiring, we always consider that hazardous. Going upstairs now. As with the downstairs toilet, this one right here is also having issues with the stability. It's not anchored to the floor correctly either. I'm going to recommend a plumber repair both of the toilets. And up here, this outlet against the wall in this bedroom needs to be either replaced or it needs to be rewired. It's not wired correctly. It's showing that it's shorted out. There's another outlet over here right underneath where the filter goes. I noticed that it'll short out on you. It's just a loose connection. It's probably a worn out outlet. Just need to get a new receptacle. And like I said, I've still got the crawl space to look at. I'm going to suspect that it's going to have some moisture underneath there, given the condition of the front, how the wood's rotten and the water's running underneath the siding out front. But I'll know more and I'll let you know.